Okay, here we go. Finding the volume of a volcano. The mountain created by a volcano is often cone-shaped. Example 2. For her geography project, Karen built a clay model of a volcano in the shape of a cone. Her model has a diameter of 12 inches and a height of 8 inches. Find the volume of the clay in her model to the nearest tenth. Use 3.14 for pi. All right, now there's a picture of our volcano. Oh no, of course, she made a model. So step 1, find the radius. R is equal to 12 divided by 2, which is equal to 6. Don't forget, the radius is half of the diameter. And they said that the diameter was 12 inches. So 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. Step 2, find the volume of the clay. We use our equation for the volume of a cone. Volume is equal to 1/3 pi times r squared times h. 1/3, that's in the equation. Pi is 3.14. The radius is 6. So we're going to write down 6 squared because this is the radius squared. And the height was 8. Now we go through and we do our math. 1/3 times 3.14 times 36 times 8. And we do the same thing we did before. We multiply going across the top first. So we're going to say 1 times 3.14 times 36 times 8. Then we multiply on the bottom. 3. What number is up under 3.14? 1. What number is up under 36? 1. What number is up under the 8? 1. So 3 times 1 times 1 times 1. And when we get through multiplying across the top and then dividing by 3 on the bottom, we'll come out with 301.44. 301.44. And since they said round to the nearest tenth, 301.44, the first 4, is in the tenth spot. So I look to the number next to it, and I notice that it is less than 5. So the 4 will stay the same. So my final answer is 301.4 inches cubed. Once again, don't forget volume is in cubic inches. In cubic measures. Thank you. And once again, for those of us who may be a little bit confused, we got everything written out for you once again to show you every last step. So 1 times 3.14 times 36 times 8, you should come out with 904.32 on your calculator. Once again, do that right now if you haven't done so already. On the bottom, you got 3 times 1 times 1 times 1. That's going to give you 3. So now you take 904.32 and divide that by 3. And you come out with 301.44. And then round to the nearest tenth. The 4, that first 4, is in your tenth spot. Thank you.
The really cool thing is that the formula that we saw for the volume of a pyramid actually works for finding volumes of cones. Check it out. You're going to love this. If you want to find the volume of a cone, it's just 1/3 the area of the base multiplied by the perpendicular height. So for a cone, that's just going to be 1/3 times pi r squared, that's the area of the circular base, multiplied by the height. Isn't that cool? So, for example, in this particular figure, the volume, if we wanted to compute it, would be 1/3 pi, and then r squared. Well, here r is 5, so 5 squared is 25, times the height is 10. And so we see that's going to be 250 pi, all divided by 3. That's the exact value. Now, if you want to approximate that, we could use 3.14 as an approximation to pi and plug this into a calculator and see numerically this is approximately 261.7. And what are my units? They are inches times inches times inches, so inches cubed. Remember, volume in 3 space, always inches cubed. Let's try one more example together. Here's a really tall, kind of skinny cone. Let's see if we can compute the volume of this, and maybe we can even approximate that numerically. So the volume is going to be 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Well, the area of the base is going to be pi r squared. So r is 6, so I take 6 and square it. Or do I? That's a great mistake, but be careful. 6 here represents the diameter. We want r, the radius, and so we're looking for that length right there, which is half the diameter. So in fact, even though it says 6, we just don't plug that in. Mindlessly, we have to think what 6 means. Diameter, need radius, take half, 3. So this person who gave me the question was being a little bit sneaky. Really, it's 3 squared, and so that's going to be 9. All right, back on track. And multiply that by the perpendicular height, which is 12. And so now if we simplify this, we can divide the numerator and denominator by 3 and get a little cancellation there, simplification. And so I see that this equals, the volume is exactly equal to 36 pi. But if you want to approximate that, we can use 3.14 to approximate pi numerically. We put that into a calculator, we see 113.0. And what are my units? They're centimeters cubed. So these formulas are fantastic because they allow us to figure out, compute the volumes for interesting pyramids or even cones. We just have to remember the 1/3 factor in front, and remember we take the area of the base and multiply it by the perpendicular height, and then we have the volume. It's sort of amazing these formulas sort of work the way they do. If you want to evaluate them numerically, you can approximate pi using 3.14, and you're home free. Enjoy finding the volumes all around you, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, that concludes today's lesson, so we may get started on our assignment. Thank you.